for LaRoche Racing. I can get that out.
Yeah,
I can get that out. I get it. Todd Bodine joins us. Hey, Todd, how are you tonight?
Doing wonderful. How are you guys tonight?
Hey, we're doing terrific. Third place finish out at Iowa. Not what you were hoping for. I know you wanted to get a win out there, but a couple of young guys. You got to look at these young kids in this truck series. Ty Dillon, Ryan Blaney. They've got some pretty good mojo going. What was it that allowed you to not quite get by those two guys?
Well, the single biggest thing is they had 30 less laps on their tires than we had.
Yeah.
That's kind of hard to overcome, but we had a great truck. You know, we struggled in practice and didn't get the truck really well in the first one. The second one, you know, we changed the setup around and got a little better, but it still wasn't great. And started a race and still again struggling. And during the race, Rick made some great adjustments, and we actually got the truck to run pretty quick. So by the end, we had a fast truck, and we got a lucky break on the caution and the wave around and all of that, and just raced them at the end. And you know, the problem was they had stopped on that caution and got tires, so we were down on, you know, about 30 laps on our tires, and that was the single biggest thing. But you know, those two kids did a great job. You know, they smart heads up driving, and they both deserve to be up there. And, you know, it's great to see Ryan, you know, a new kid coming in here and doing a heck of a job and everything he gets in.
Well, we were talking about the fact that the race obviously was out at Iowa. That racetrack seems to breed pretty darn good racing, especially in the truck series, but everything that kind of goes out there runs well on that racetrack. Is it a track that that would lend itself to a cup race, in your opinion?
Well, I you know, there's no reason they couldn't run a cup race there. I mean, the track itself, you know, the way it's shaped, the size, I think, is probably the single biggest thing that makes it as competitive as it is in such great racing. You know, it's not a normal 3/4 mile track, and it's not a mile track. It's a 7/8 of a mile, and it lends itself to having speedway speeds with short track bumping and banging, and you know, just really. The way it's shaped and the banking, I mean, everything about it just lends itself to great racing. In the truck series, you know, we race hard from the green flag. You know, there's no getting 6 or 7 sets of tires and riding around and adjusting. You got to go hard from the start and get your track position. And you know, it's just it's a great series to be a part of because of it.
We're talking with Todd Bodine, and Todd, one of the things that's been out there the last couple of days, today the unofficial release of the Cup schedule was out there, but the truck schedule was not officially or unofficially released, and there was some discussion out there, I guess, about bringing back or finding some new short tracks for the truck series to race on, but the problem with that is the cost, the expense of safer barriers having to be at all the racetracks. And the question then came up, would drivers be interested, would team owners be interested in finding racetracks that maybe didn't have safer barriers and bringing the truck series to it? What's your thought on that as far as finding places that, someplace like Mansfield that you'd gone in the past that, you know, can't afford to bring in safer barriers all the way around it to have a cup race or a truck race? What do you feel about that whole scenario?
Well, I really believe that that's probably the single biggest reason that a lot of these short tracks don't have races is the cost of the safer barrier. You know, it's a shame that we don't have some of these short tracks on the schedule. You know, it's where the trucks started. It's part of our heritage in all the divisions. I mean, everybody starts on a short track. So to see them all go to the wayside is not nice, and it's not a good thing for the sport. So, you know, I think it's pretty feasible that we could go without safer barriers. You know, the speeds are not high enough on a short track that, you know, I mean, yeah, the safer barrier does does a great job, and it's safer and it's softer to hit and all those things. But there's no reason that we couldn't go to Mansfield and race. You just don't get the high speeds that you get at the big tracks. Not that you can't get a high velocity hit or high spike and G's at a short track, but I just don't see why we can't race some of those tracks without the safer barriers. And I think that's what NASCAR's probably looking at, because I know that there's a lot of short tracks that have had interest in having a race, and the safer barriers is what's held them back. Even some of the road courses that are up in our Midwest, they've showed interest in having truck races, but same scenario, they can't afford to put safer barriers. Maybe that they can put them in just the higher speed corners or something. But I know NASCAR's looking at it. We need to get the Truck Series back to a 25 race schedule. Financially for the owners, it makes sense to be able to cut back on the per race expense. When you amortize these costs out, it's cheaper when you do it by having more races. So you never know. Well, we'll have to see what they decide, what their thoughts are, and we'll stay tuned. I got a feeling that you're going to see us at some of these short tracks, though.
The other rumor out there is that the Truck Series will go back to a road course for next year. Have you heard anything about that, where it might be?
Well, I've heard a couple. Mid-Ohio, Mossport up in Canada. There's a few of them that have expressed interest. And I think Montreal has even expressed having us there the day before the nationwide race. So there's a lot of places that want to have a Truck Series race because the racing is so good and the fans just love it. So you're just going to have to see. It's a matter of economics for each speedway. There again, it's a lot about the safer barriers, but it's also about grandstands and whether they can put people in the have enough stands to put people in them. So I know NASCAR looks into all those different things.
Talking with Todd Bodine, and we talked about the fact, obviously, that you had that third-place finish. But when we look at the standings, Todd, you're not sitting in a place where you're accustomed to outside of the top 10. Has this just been one of those years for you that stuff that whatever could go wrong kind of has gone wrong in some of these races?
Yeah, we have definitely not had very good luck, that's for sure. Our performance on the track has been pretty good. We're not totally disappointed with that. We think we've got some good runs and just a lot of bad luck, with flat tires and a blown motor, and I've made a problem a couple times, and it's just one of those things that you gotta work through, and hopefully, I know I got a great race team, and everybody at Red Horse is working hard, and it's just gotta get through the tough times, and we're definitely not accustomed to being 14th in points. That's not where we're expected to be at this point.
Well, I know your focus is on this year, but have you talked about next year? Do you have plans for next year? What's that looking like?
Well, we'd love to stay where we're at. Tom DeLoach, our team owner, wants us to stay here, and it's about funding. It's about sponsorship, and we're currently working on it really hard to get some funding, and we're having a little success. Got some things going on, and just got to get all the I's dotted and the T's crossed and make sure it happens. The process that takes some time.
We've talked to a lot of people, and they say the same thing. It's no secret out there that funding is the big deal. Is there a light at the end of the tunnel at all as far as some sponsorship money? You said you've got some things that you're working on. Is it getting easier? Is it getting tougher? Where are you? Where's the sport at, I guess, is the bigger overall question.
Well, I think it's getting a little easier. Obviously it's not easy by any means, but I think the economy's turning around, and corporations are starting to spend more in their marketing dollars and do things that they have been cutting back on. There's a lot of corporations that are interested in the sport. It's just a matter of economics and how much they can actually spend. And It's the ones that are out there. You see them. Everything is getting better. All the signs are getting better. So we just have to keep digging and make it happen.
Todd, before we let you go, I wanted to ask you one question about the Cup Series. You were involved in the Cup Series for a long time, and are you still a fan? I mean, when you look at the chase starting up this past weekend in Chicago, do you get a little extra interest in it because of this chase thing, or is it not what you would have it be if you were the king of NASCAR?
Well, if I was the king of NASCAR, I'd have a lot of things different. I can tell you that.
All right.
All right. Well,
I don't.
We can hold you over the break, Todd. So don't worry. You got plenty of time.
We could have the whole king segment if you'd like to have it.
Yeah, no, that's all right. That's okay. I can do without it. I'm not one of the proponents of the chase. I believe that you earn your way. It's a season-long battle, and you earn it as you go. The chase has done a lot of good things for the sport. There's no doubt about it, and we're all getting more accustomed to the whole idea of it. But I'm still a believer in earning your way, and it takes a whole season to do that.
All right, Todd. Thanks so much. We appreciate you spending some time with us. We're fans, so we'll watch for you in the next race. Get those points back up over 10.
Get out there and get a win, man. We're rooting for you.
Yeah, that's what I'm working on. That's for sure. And I got a great group behind me at Red Horse Racing, so we're going to keep digging and get it done.
All right. If anybody can make it happen, it's those guys can do it for you. So we'll talk to you again. Thanks, Todd.
Thanks, Todd.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Yep. All right.
Todd Bodine, the Onion.